more authentic than a Boston post office. We'll give you a Patriot Super Bowl ring bearer 3 times over. Tedy Bruschi, who joins me, Bob Lee, and Adam Shefter. Before I get to you, Teddy, according to WCVB in Boston, Tom Brady's told friend, quote, "I am so relieved, so happy, so grateful to everyone who stood by me and worked on my behalf." End quote. All right, so we'll get your reaction and what you've heard from people close to the situation.
Well, Tom has always been confident in this situation. I know that. I think you're confident when you feel like and you believe that you're innocent. And from the beginning, when this broke a long time ago, it seems, I mean, it was quick for Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady to go up to a podium and say, "We've done nothing wrong." And they've done that the entire time. So I think that's why this has gone so long, because you've got some very strong personalities that are actually denying what's being charged. I mean, we've had so many things happen before where you've got this evidence and you've got a 4-game suspension, and it's the way it's supposed to be. Right? Steroid, performance-enhancing drugs, street drugs. It's clear. All right? Then you want to appeal that, but this is someone that was actually saying, no, this did not happen. So that's why we're here now, because
his innocence wasn't even part of the decision.
It wasn't. This is process.
Was the issue.
This is process, and I know people in New England right now, they're jumping up for joy, all right? Everyone's happy. I mean, they talk radio, everything. They're so happy that this came down, that Tom Brady can participate in the season. However, this is process on the league. I want to go back to the Wells report in the beginning. Let's revisit this thing. When the judge references the report on page 3, he uses independent in quotation marks, okay?
5 times he did it.
He's joking about it because he knows it wasn't independent. It was Walt Anderson that said his best recollection was the logo gauge. Let's get back to this, because I'm telling you right now, the footballs were not deflated in the first place. Reread the Wells report.
Why were Nick Cowley and John Yastrzemski suspended?
I do not know. I do not know.
You don't know. No human on this earth can get an answer to that question.
Yeah, I can answer it.
7 billion. I can answer it. 7 billion Earthlings are waiting to hear this answer.
The NFL asked the Patriots to do it. The Patriots complied with that request. That's what happened. For what reason? Because they believed they were guilty. And the Patriots went along with it. The Patriots went along with it because they, again, why did they accept the punishment? Why did they agree to not put up a fight? Why did they go along with the first and the $4 million fine? Why did they do that?
I'm not satisfied here. I'm not satisfied with this. I'm not satisfied. Okay, the procedure was flawed. This is not the first time that it's been proved that the procedure is flawed. All the cases you want to reference, go ahead. All right, the procedure is flawed. That's a proven fact. This is a slam dunk proven fact right now, but the fact that the report in general, in the first place, was not independent. All right, they chose which gauge to use. They released information, sculpting public opinion. This is what happened. The balls weren't deflated. He went into the bathroom to use the bathroom. But no one can get over that point. This is a huge victory for the Patriots. Don't get me wrong. It feels great. But I'm not satisfied. All right? The fact that it wasn't independent in the first place, the league did this. They made mistakes from day one.
I want to go back. You wanted to revisit the Wells report, which was issued in May after about 4.5 months. I want to go back 50 weeks, mid-September of last year. In the wake of the Roger Goodell press conference off the Ray Rice issue of this release of the so-called second videotape, we hadn't heard from the commissioner in about 10 or 11 days. And look, I know you, we're not close friends, but we work together. I have a sense of, and that day when you called for Roger Goodell's resignation, wow, that was, I felt that I got a sense of how important that was to you. All right. In light of today, acknowledging that here some objectivity might be pushed to the side because you spent your professional life with Patriots, are you still of that opinion?
I don't want to jump on Roger Goodell right now. Yes. About a year ago, I felt like he should be dismissed. Do I still feel the same way? Absolutely. But besides being a former Patriot, the only team I played for 13 years, I'm also a member of the NFL community. And right now, as a member of the NFL community, I'm looking at it as over and over, it's continuing, it's being made to look ridiculous. And that's what I'm embarrassed about.
Why and how?
I'm embarrassed that the leader of the NFL, well, this is beyond the New England Patriots. The leader of the NFL is making the league look ridiculous. He looks ridiculous. Does he need to dismiss? That's for owners to decide. But those 32 owners need to realize right now their business, their billion-dollar baby, looks ridiculous. And the runner of it looks ridiculous. What are they going to do? do they want to continue this and file the appeal and continue to go through?
They are going to file. That's a fact.
That's fine. You want to do this? You want to draw this out even more to where your league is being drugged through the mud? I'd rather not see that.
When it's dragged through the mud, Teddy, no. I mean, last year was the nadir. It was as bad as it could get. Highest rated Super Bowl, perhaps the lowest number of no-shows, television ratings, didn't lose any sponsors. The shield seems impervious, at least superficially.
You're talking dollars and cents.
I am.
You're talking money. I played 13 years. I represented myself. I took pay cuts to stay with the same team because loyalty was more important to me. Building a team was more important to me. Winning championships is more important to me. Once in a while, these billionaires got to look at something, and this is not just a business. This is the NFL where people are passionate about it. They believe in it. It's part of their lives.
Do you think that
to make it,
people feel that way beyond the dollars and cents?
Absolutely. They don't want to see the NFL as a billion-dollar business. Ask a fan. Call a fan right now.
I'm talking about the ownership. At the executive level, are there enough people there?
At the executive level.
The ownership level of 32 bosses of Roger Goodell.
They need to start thinking that way.
Let me say this. Just hung up with an owner a short time ago. And his words were, everybody's still behind Roger. He's not going anywhere. Okay, this is the words of an owner. Now, is this ruling going to have fallout in various other ways for the NFL? Absolutely. There are going to be massive ramifications from this decision today in my mind, in the minds of others. But again, you can question Roger Goodell, you can criticize Roger Goodell. It doesn't sound as if his job is in jeopardy. His job has never been in jeopardy despite all the tumult that the league has been through the past 2 seasons.
Changes have to be made if he stays.
Well, it's begun with a chief operating officer, Tim Wecke, coming in. Paul Hicks, get the name right exactly. Thank you for correcting me. Paul Hicks leaving, the head of public relations, announcing communications he is departing. So they're restructuring it so that there's an administrative chief under Goodell.
You know what would be a huge change if the NFL read this ruling and digested it and said, you know what, we were wrong. All right, and saying we made a mistake from the beginning by hiring an investigation.
Here it is. Here's Goodell's statement.
I got you. I'm just telling you here. By hiring an investigation that was paid to sway public opinion into their findings already. Okay, they wanted that report to support their findings. It's obvious. All right. Read the report again. You will see how independent it truly was, just how the judge refers to it in his ruling. Independent. It wasn't independent. You made a mistake, NFL. The change would be to move forward with this. Don't file the appeal. Let's just fix the problems. Roger Goodell can keep his job. Just you made some mistakes, move on, and let's start with a clean slate. Is that all possible? I know I'm in a dream world here.
I know you are, and as I said, your objectivity, reservoir is only so far filled because you are a 13-year Patriot, Super Bowl champion. You talked about leadership and Goodell's leadership. You've been a leader. You've been a captain on the field. You know the essence of leadership, that was credibility. In a tough spot, being looked to as the guy who can provide its nonverbal half the time and setting an example by those standards.
Right.
What's the leadership then?
If they want to keep him as leader, he will continue to be doubted. Just like I said a year ago, Bob. Every time you see him speak, every time he has a press conference, you're going to look at Roger Goodell and shake your head and think to yourself, is he telling us the truth? That's the bottom line. If they decide to.
Many of these decisions were made to protect the integrity of the game. And the irony of it is that it's had the opposite effect. And now there are even more questions about the integrity of the game.
Ted, let me ask you this question.
Yes.
What do you think was the backwash? I'll take you back to 2007. I'll utter a phrase I'm sure you don't appreciate hearing, but it's part of the history of this, what we call Spygate. What was resolved then? And Joe Banner sat in the very chair you're sitting in about 20 minutes ago. He says it wasn't animus, but there were suspicions and feelings. That was wrapped up within 11 days. Do you think that there was a lingering political, atmospheric impact, even all these years later, that this had to come down hard here because it was the Patriots again?
Possibly. I can't go into someone's head and what they were thinking based on past experiences or anything like that. But I tell you what, Spygate back then, we accepted our punishment. All right, did you catch us filming signals? Yes, you did. Okay. Now this one here, they weren't going to take it because it wasn't done. Because they went up there from day one denying all of the charges, saying there was no wrongdoing. That was the difference. Last time, all right, yes, we filmed signals. Listen, a lot of people in the league stole signals. Everyone knows that. But you got us. This time here, no. This wasn't them. It wasn't done, and they were going to fight it until the end. They'll continue to fight it.
You brought up a name earlier. We were chatting off air, Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Lost a season because of Bountygate. Now, the 4 players who were disciplined in Bountygate had their suspensions vacated by Paul Tangley, the independent arbitrator. One of those cases you add to the litany of outside arbitrators who have said, no, Roger Goodell, you're wrong. Sean Payton does not have the protection of the union.
Correct.
It's a whole separate issue. What do you get a sense of what we might see under consideration?
Well, to me, you have to think that Sean Payton's going to look at all this and look at all the reversals of rulings and the millions of dollars that he lost. And you have to wonder whether he would consider taking action against the league now, because some of the same issues that arose here with Tom Brady, not being afforded certain answers, not being allowed to ask certain questions, happened in that particular case too. And I don't know his recourse here. We could get Roger Goodell back to describe that, but you have to think, speaking to various people around the league, that at some point Sean Payton may want to try to revisit that for the millions of dollars that he lost. There are all sorts of questions. This is part of the fallout of today's events, where you put up that chart before, and we saw all the suspensions that have been reduced or vacated. We still may hear from Greg Hardy further.
Adrian Peterson's case is on appeal and will likely come down before the Second Circuit rules on Tom Brady. So the Peterson decision on appeal could form some kind of a precedent, I'm told by Andrew Grant, for what eventually the Second Circuit's going to do with Brady.
When Judge Berman handed down that 40-page ruling today, he cited the names Adrian Peterson and Ray Rice on multiple occasions. They were a part of this, and we talked earlier, and this is true, the last 2 years have been a very difficult, challenging time for the NFL. And because of what the league went through on Ray Rice and the sharp criticism that the league came under during that entire time, it knew that it had to approach every disciplinary case, whether it was on or off the field,
and they redid the whole system. They redid it all.
Handed fashion. And so since then, the unintended consequence of the Ray Rice case has been a league that reacts and is going to overreact if need be, because in no way will the league leave itself open to being criticized for being too lenient in a particular case.
Tangibly, to get the restoration of credibility that you seem to feel is so important, what needs to change? What steps? What people? What systems? What would you do? Here, let me give you the magic wand. I mean, in real-world terms, what has to change?
I think you start with the process, because a patriot's innocence or guilt can always be debated in terms of whatever science you believe in, whatever you think about the report. That's to the side here. Okay, it's the process that we're talking about today. It's this process that the judge finds that there was. It is not an independent process. It is not, right? The league handles the appeals, the league makes decisions, and then based on decisions they've already made, the process has to be changed, the process has to be fixed. Maybe they'll go back to the table and start talking.
The league took steps. The league took steps in its defense after the Ray Rice situation to hire a whole bunch of other people that had various perspectives and various backgrounds who were absent, noticeably absent, during the Ray Rice ruling, the Greg Hardy ruling, so that the league would not be in that situation again. In this particular case, they're going after the Patriots on the deflation of the footballs when there are no proper policies and gauges used to test these footballs pre-post game, when they're not factoring in the ideal gas law. There are all sorts of things that the league last year tried to improve, that it will now try to improve, but that's been the whole problem all along, is that it's been haphazard, adjust, make it up as you go along the way, rather than there being a uniform set of rules.
Wasn't
this appeal process a golden opportunity to test the restructuring of everything, right? To test your new values on all the people that you've hired.
So Jeff Cash is not questioned, so Brady doesn't get to see the notes.
And Roger Goodell still decides.
Steroids is thrown out.
He still decides to sit there and make the final ruling because of so-called Article 46, whichever it is.
Article 46.
Guys, you up for a cup of coffee, maybe? If this tweet had come out before the decision, it might have been construed as bribery of a federal judge. But that Boston, Judge Berman gets free coffee for life at Dunkin' Donuts, Jay.
Yeah, you're right. It's a good thing. It was well timed. You definitely don't want to post that before the ruling.